I, 32 male, caught wife, 34 female, in our bed with her best friend, 33 female. I found my wife, whom I've been married to for almost 8 years now and have 2 adorable kids with, in our bed with her best friend. My immediate reaction was to scream like a crazy man and throw things at both of them. I was devastated. Later that day, I went back home to talk to her and she told me that she has been in love with her friend for years now. She said she loves me and the kids, but it is a different kind of love. According to her, she has been attracted to girls ever since she can remember, but when she agreed to marry me she was in love with me. She said she didn't intend to ever cheat on me, but she thinks that her friend is the love of her life. I thought I could die right there and then. It has been 3 weeks since I found out about her and her friend. She didn't only make me live in a lie all those years, but she actually wants me to continue living the lie. She promises she will cut off all ties with her friend, whom she said is the love of her life by the way, and she wants to work hard to save our marriage for the sake of our sons, but I can't even look at her right now. At the same time, I'm not sure I want a divorce. I'm disgusted with myself because I feel deep down, beneath all my pain and anger, that I still have feelings for her. Update. Thank you everyone. There's a small detail I failed to mention, although it won't change much. I failed to mention that my wife and I are both of Arab descent. Coming out is still not acceptable in our community even though we are Americans, and I think that plays a factor in why she'd want to stay in the marriage. But it doesn't change anything for me. I'm still the one who's been cheated on. I won't deny that at times I thought of outing her to our families and friends as an act of revenge, but that won't do anyone any good, right? I haven't been with any other woman in my entire life. I met her my first year in university and that was that. I'm not sure I know how to date or approach women romantically anymore. I think I've been hesitant about the divorce for fear of being alone in the long run, but I've read all your comments and I thank you all for the insights. My 22 male, wife, 36 female, practices non-monogamy. I walked in on her having sex in our living room. Please help me get over this. We've been married for 3 years and started this arrangement a year and a half ago. Our marriage is open for both of us to see others for sex, but she is the only one who does. I thought I was okay with this, up until now. We had an agreement that I would not ask and she would not tell. It was going fine until this past weekend when I came home from a sports meetup to find her and this one guy she has been seeing having sex on the living room couch. She only noticed me when I walked into the living room through the door and the guy quickly got his stuff and left. I feel awful right now. I know she didn't do anything wrong because this was within the boundaries of the relationship we agreed on together. I think it's my fault because I should have made it clear that our house is off limits to bring others back too. But part of me feels like she should have known not to do this. The worst thing is the other guy had a penis the size of a baseball bat and I am 4 inches myself, so now I can't get the thoughts of my wife enjoying this other guy so much out of my head. I haven't spoken to her about this yet because I don't know if I'm ready to. She's tried to initiate conversations but I have been distant. I know I am treating her unfairly by not talking to her, but I don't want to end up saying something I'll regret due to feeling hurt. Reddit. Can you offer me any advice or talk some sense into me before I speak with my wife? What should I do going forward? A 19-year-old marrying a 31-year-old who can't be monogamous. What could go wrong? OP, you're in for a lifetime of feeling this way. Make sure that's what you want. Caught my wife, 24 female, of 2 years about to cheat with my 30 male, best friend, 30 male. To try and make this as short as I can, first a little background info. I met my wife, let's call her Jess, 6 to 7 years ago. Been friends, never anything more until we both got out of really bad relationships. We were there for each other and all that. We became closer and eventually started dating. Dated for a little over a year. Then she got pregnant. We had a boy, and decided to get married shortly after. Everything was going well. I know we are both at fault. I had trust issues after we had been together for a while. She told me about her past and her last 2 boyfriends she cheated on. I completely trusted her up to that point and that shook me, but I tried to not let it affect anything. Jess has a long history of depression, anxiety, agoraphobia, along with being sexually assaulted by her uncle. These were things that I was helping her with while seeing a therapist. To my part of the downfall of all of this, my family has a long history of depression. Never knew any of this until just a couple nights ago. I never knew it was getting worse with me cause everyone chalked up my personality changing to the fact I worked 2 jobs, 6 days a week. My wife really only works weekends, occasionally a few hours during the week. I am currently seeking help dealing with it and getting over her past. Now for my friend Tim. Long before I and Jess ever got together, Tim made many attempts to come between Jess and her boyfriend at the time. Jess shot him down and blocked his phone number and all social media. I never knew any of this until after me and Jess were together. When we'd have barbecue gatherings, Tim would always be standoffish and ignore her. When we announced that Jess was pregnant, the only thing he had to say was, "Need a coat hanger." He then followed that up by talking trash to everyone about Jess. We had a blow up and never spoke for just under 2 years. Come last Christmas, he wrote us both apology notes, and we sat down and talked, sorted everything out. Now Tim has been known to get in between relationships. Happened at least twice now. I told Jess that I've known Tim since I was 6, he's not over you. As time goes over the next 3 to 4 months, my workload increases a lot. This took time away from me and my wife, which Tim took up that opportunity to talk more to Jess. I started having issues with it when she would be up till 12 a.m. talking to him and texting him nonstop all day ignoring our son. I told her after looking at the phone bill and seeing that she's texted him 1,500 times in 4 days, that things need to change. They never did. Wherever we went she would be right there texting him. My suspicions grew that this was more than friendly talking, until last night when they went out together for driving lessons with my wife that would take only a couple hours. They left at 2, and by 10 p.m. I got suspicious. I used the Find My iPhone app and saw where they had parked the car. A known spot to hook up at. So I decided to investigate. Opened up his car door and they were both naked in his back seat. I'd gotten there right before anything worse happened. I'm pissed. Cops come. I tell Tim to stay away and never contact any of us again. We go back home. Wife feels like trash and is a mess. I'm lost and not sure what to do. I told her we will do marriage counseling and see a therapist for each of us. This turned out longer than I wanted, but the venting helps. I guess right now I just want an outsider's perspective. I love my wife still, but is this worth fixing? TL, DR. Wife cheated. I caught them right before it was going to happen. Not sure where to go now. Spouse, 29 female, admits to cheating with my 30 male best friend, 30 male. 2 days ago, my spouse of 5 years, together for 10, admitted to 2 occasions where she cheated with my best friend of 15 years. The first time was several months ago. The second time was less than a week ago and they were caught by his wife, also a friend for 15 plus years. It was also an emotional affair, as they've gotten very close in the last 4 or 5 months. Just before this admission, I had an overdue talk with her about me being uncomfortable, at times, with the closeness of their friendship. She claims that there was no reason she did this, that both occasions were drunk and stupid mistakes. I pointed out that this wasn't 2 isolated incidents, it was months and months of hidden, unfaithful behavior. Even after the first physical episode of cheating, she chose not to walk away. She claims that there are no relationship issues or other problems that drove this behavior. I have a really hard time believing this. You don't cheat for no reason, and the why question is really messing with my head, even if I know it's mostly irrelevant in the big picture. I'm also having serious doubts that this was the first time she's cheated. She's had male friends at work that threw up some red flags, but obviously I didn't act on it. We're both independent and gave each other space to have our own lives, at least, that's how I used to view it. Instead, I may have given her enough rope to hang herself with. My best friend is dead to me. While it would be incredibly satisfying to seek out a fight or some kind of revenge, I doubt it does any good in the short term or long term. As for me, my emotions are still incredibly raw, but I don't see how I can leave with this. I'm an independent person and I'm pretty closed off, but my wife was the one person I let in. These people formed virtually my entire social group. We were incredibly close. Now I'm looking around at my life and it feels like scorched earth. There's nothing left. We have no kids, thank God. We own a house in a growing market that could sell for $100,000 over the mortgage value. We have virtually no other debt. We're both staying in the house for now, her downstairs, me upstairs. It's so hard to think clearly. Every thought is interrupted by an alternating torrent of anger and crushing sadness. I don't think I can leave with this, but I don't want to call it quits in a cloud of anger and realize later that I should have taken more time. On the other hand, I don't want to wait too long and be influenced to stay by loneliness, depression, and attrition. How do I choose a path forward? If I leave, what do I need to start getting in order? TLDR. Wife cheated with a lifelong best friend. My whole world has been shattered. How and when do I make a decision to leave, and what do I need to get in order? Edit. If divorce is where we end up, I'd prefer to avoid lawyers if possible. We're on equal footing financially and I'm not interested in legal/financial vengeance. I understand that if she wants to get lawyers involved, my hand will be forced. But I'm also way out of my element here, so feel free to lay out the rationale for lawyering up in spite of my thoughts. Walked in on my girlfriend and my best friend Kyle. If I'm not already depressed enough after getting injured 5 months ago from an accident and only have partial functioning legs, fractured both femurs, then this crap happens. I decided to surprise my girlfriend of 2 years with a McDonald's Egg McMuffin early Sunday morning before we go to church together, also hoping to get laid before church. She even asked me what time I was coming to pick her up. I said 10:40, lying, coming at 9:30 with a fat Egg McMuffin. I go to McDonald's and picked up 3 Egg McMuffins, 2 for me, 1 for her, and headed over to her place. The whole time I'm just thinking about getting laid and our text last night about how bad she is craving me. Can't wait, my D feels like it is going to explode in the car, just picturing me walking into her house while she is getting ready and having some good times in the bathroom. Damn, I felt like I was going to need to J off before I go there. Anyways, 10 minutes later there it was. The worst boner kill of my life. I went 180 to 0 so freaking fast. Why in the hell is Kyle's cool freaking Mercedes AMG in front of Kayla's house? F me right. I said screw the McDonald's, immediately parked my car and went to the front door. Yep, it was locked. Went straight to the front door mat not even knowing the key would be there, and it was. Click. Opened the door, which goes straight into the living room, and walked into loud music being played. Sounded like Chris Brown, some R&B crap. The only thought going through my head is yep, they are screwing. I go straight to her room and I round the corner to get there and bam. Kyle was just standing completely naked with Kayla half-dressed sucking him. The only thing I managed to get out of my mouth when me and Kyle made eye contact was, "Nice D, bro." I started walking out. Kyle and Kayla didn't say a word, which was the worst part. Not even going to say sorry bro or anything? I guess it wouldn't matter anyway. So yeah, screw it. Screw this life. Caught my wife of 9 years sleeping with my best friend. Title says it all. My wife and I have a special needs son who is 2. My wife has been having an affair with my best friend for 9 months. They were planning on running away and starting a family together. Now, he doesn't want to be with my wife because he's trying to mend his relationship with his ex-wife, for their son, when his ex-wife decided to leave him for another man. I helped him through this process only to have him do the same to me. Finding the proof was about a 12-hour process for me, which she lied about the whole time. I don't think I can believe anything she ever says again. But she wants to work things out. Do I owe her the courtesy she wouldn't give me? Edit. We've been together for 9 years, married for 2. Edit 2. I forgot to mention that he was married when they started sleeping together. Edit 3. Went to counseling today. I don't know. I don't like talking about it, but she did tell me what most of you have said. Nothing I did could justify what she did. Thank you everyone for your advice.